Welcome to the Kurt Saxon Show, your countdown to the future. First, I want you to take down my phone number in case you want to call. The number is 501-437-2963. In case you didn't get it, here it is again, 501-437-2963. Sorry, but we can't accept collect calls. Last night's topic on food was so well received, I decided I'd do another one. And of course, after this will be a different subject. But this is the perfect 3.3-cent breakfast from 1991, and it's in volume 8 of The Survivor. A while back, some Mormons visited me and told me of a friend who had been suckered into paying $9,000 for a year's supply of survival food for his family of 5. The seller had given him a break by not charging anything for his youngest. Otherwise, he would have paid $12,000. The only good thing one can say about most commercial survival foods is that they won't taste any worse 10 years from now than they do now. The worst that can be said for them, aside from their lack of nutrition from overprocessing, is that they cost an average of 3 times that of food from your local supermarket. A year's supply of food would be nice, and you should go for it. But be practical. Buy what you normally eat and like. Learn basic food processing so you can buy foods cheaply and in bulk. Of course, we all use canned and processed foods we buy on a regular basis, and they should always be bought by the case. You should figure how much of a certain product you'll buy over the next year and buy it all at once by the case from your supermarket. The economy is obvious. First, a supermarket manager will deduct at least 5% since his people won't have to unpack it and put it on shelves. Second, since food prices do nothing but rise, you will probably pay at least 25% more for the same product in a few months. You can do even better by trading at the discount food stores like Sam's, whose prices average 10% above dealers' prices. Although food in cans, jars, and dried packaged foods easily keep from 3 to 5 years if they're stored in a dry place, you can ensure freshness by rotating. Say you bought 10 cases of canned peas. Just mark the cases from 1 to 10. Use from case 1, and when that's emptied, buy another and label it 11. Then start on case 2, buy another and label it 12, and so on. That way, none of the food will ever be less than fresh. When you incorporate grains into your diet, you will see your food costs plummet. Buy a hand grain grinder and bake your own bread. You'll save several dollars a month. It will also taste better and be more nourishing. You can even sell it to neighbors and even to local health food stores. Grain grinders should be steel burred, not stone. Stone grinders are a fraud. They're touted as causing less heat than steel, but hand grinding doesn't create the amount of heat objected to in the commercial milling of grains. So buy the much cheaper and more durable steel burred grinder. And don't be sold the combination steel and stone. They cost up to twice as much and are a gyp. The Survivor Volume 1 and the Poor Man's James Bond Strikes Again tape will give you an excellent grounding on the processing of inexpensive and nutritious foods. Through them, you'll learn that high food costs, and especially the need for commercial survival foods, are the results of ignorance. You may soon have to abandon the luxury of such ignorance. But now to get to the main subject, the perfect 3.3 breakfast. This is just one example of a food which is easy to process, nourishing, energy and health-giving, and costs practically nothing. It is simply 4 ounces of wheat, sprouted for 48 hours, cooked overnight in your thermos, and put in your blender. This makes a large bowl of breakfast cereal which tastes wonderful and will give you more energy than you can imagine. There are several steps to processing this food, but it takes only a few minutes in all as you bustle about in your daily routine. You probably have most of what you need, but you should equip yourself with what you lack. First, look up your local feed and seed store, even in a city, and call them. Ask if they have or can order 50 to 60 pounds of hard red winter wheat, untreated. Treated seed is strictly for planting. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to provide it. It will cost between $7 and $8 depending on your location. Say it costs $8 for 60 pounds or 13 1/8 of a pound. You use 4-ounce portions. That's 4 times 60 or 240 breakfasts, or 3.3 cents for each breakfast. One thing you'll need is a Stanley Aladdin narrow-mouth thermos bottle. These cost $19 at Walmart, are unbreakable, and will last a lifetime. Don't be tempted to get a wide-mouth thermos if you mean to cook in it. It holds 3/4 cup less than you need. Also, the cap has a wider surface which keeps it from holding the heat of the near boiling water needed for actual cooking. Next, you need 2-quart jars. Mayonnaise jars or similar will do. To cover them, get some nylon window screen from the hardware store and cut 2 6-inch by 6-inch squares. Put 4 ounces of wheat in each jar. Put the screens over the jars and hold them in place with large rubber bands. Fill one jar 1/3 with water and set it near the sink overnight. Next morning, pour out the soak water and drink it. It's vitamin-rich and a good morning tonic. Up in the jar in the sink to drain. After the first draining, flood the wheat about every 4 hours before bedtime and drain it. The idea is to keep the wheat moist. At the last flooding, the first day, just before bedtime, flood the second jar and let it set overnight like the first. Next day, drink the water and treat the second as the first, flooding both every 4 hours or so. On the second evening, the first jar of wheat will show sprouts protruding from the ends of the grains. Now it's ready. It's part grain and part fresh vegetable. Its protein and vitamin content is higher, and it's altogether a more complete food, rich and amazingly nutritious, and again, a complete meal for less than 4 cents. Empty the sprouted grains into a 2-cup measure and put 4 more ounces of wheat in the jar, flood and set aside overnight as before. Now you have a perpetual routine taking up no real time and producing a fantastic amount of food for little cost. With the sprouted grain in the 2-cup measure, fill it with water to the 2-cup mark. Then pour it into a saucepan on the stove and add 2 more cups of water and a few shakes of salt to keep it from tasting flat. Heat it to a boil, which takes about 5 minutes. You'll need a funnel to pour the water and the grain into the thermos. Take a gallon plastic bottle, milk, bleach, vegetable oil, etc., and cut it in half. Use the top half for the funnel. While the grain is still boiling, empty the pan into the funnel and so into the thermos. You'll have to use a spoon to push part of the grain from the funnel into the thermos, as well as some of the grain from the pan. At any rate, do it quickly so you can cap the thermos to contain the heat. Cap, then shake the thermos and lay it on its side so its contents don't bunch up, and leave it overnight. Next morning, pour the contents into a blender and pour out part of the liquid into a cup. Drink the liquid as it's rich in vitamins. With just enough liquid to cover the grain, turn on the blender at low. Then increase the speed until the grain is all ground to the constituency of oatmeal. You can add cinnamon or any other flavoring if you like, but you'll find it has a delicious taste of its own. You don't need much sweetener, as the sprouting has created quite a bit of wheat sugar. You can add cream if you like, but I like mine plain. In fact, I just blend the wheat with all the liquid and drink it. You'll be surprised at the energy you feel even a few minutes after eating. Not only will it enable you to be more energetic and alert until lunchtime, but it will also be an excellent weight adjuster. For instance, if you're overweight, that energy will make you more active and you'll lose weight. If you're underweight, its carbohydrates will be burned up as energy, and that same energy will activate and increase your musculature. There's one possible drawback to this 3.3-cent breakfast. If you're active, no problem. But if you live a sedentary lifestyle and are sluggish, you may get the runs. Not chronic, just loose. However, this would only last a few days. After all, this is whole wheat with all the bran. People have been eating roughly ground whole wheat for thousands of years. Up until about 80 years ago, only the very rich ever ate white bread. Sluggish intestines were a rarity except among the wealthy. Consequently, only the rich got colon cancer. Colon cancer is caused by the buildup of carcinogens on intestinal linings. The rough bran from whole wheat and coarsely ground corn kept the intestines of common folk free from any such buildup. The same goes for oatmeal, which has recently been touted as the perfect bran food. It's a staple of the Scots and is high in protein. But what with the bran craze, its price has risen much higher than its nutritive value. So back to the wheat bran and its unsettling effects on the innards of sluggards. This is only temporary. Any radical, even beneficial change in the diet will cause a reaction. The intestines are not harmed any more than unused muscles are harmed after a first day of horseback riding. The nether quarters doth protest too much, but they soon get used to it. No need to overdo it to bow-leggedness, though. So I'm not suggesting this to be your whole breakfast permanently or that you make whole wheat your staple food. What I would suggest, however, is that you challenge yourself to make it your whole breakfast for 2 weeks. You will save money, you will experience fantastic energy, you will lose or gain weight, you will even get cleaned out and regular, and will realize that you will never really need a laxative, even Metamucil, from then on if you eat only 1 serving each day. You'll never get colon cancer, and you'll never fear starvation as long as you have sense enough to buy whole grains in bulk. Now, a person called me and told me that he lives in Florida, and he tried to get hard red wheat, winter wheat from his seed and feed store, and was told that they didn't sell it and they wouldn't order it for him. Well, the problem with that in Florida is that hard red winter wheat has the highest protein, so it's the best. But it is a northern wheat, so you wouldn't expect to buy it in Florida. So if you're in Florida or someplace where your seed and feed store doesn't carry hard red winter wheat for about $7 for 50 or 60 pounds, then you'll have to go to your natural food store. So I called up the almond tree in Harrison, Arkansas this morning, and I was told that they sell 50 pounds of hard red winter wheat for $19.50, and it's organically grown. It's probably the best you can get. And that makes it about 39 cents a pound, or about 10 cents a breakfast. So if you can't get it from your feed and seed store, then you're doing fine and still saving a whole lot of money by buying it, the organically grown hard red winter wheat from your local health food store. Okay, here I'm again. The phone number is 501-437-2963. And I would prefer if no one would try to call before I finish talking. Okay, here's a call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, this is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I was wondering, how do you feel about the LA quake?
What?
How do you feel about the LA earthquake?
Well, I wasn't there, so I don't feel it at all.
Okay, no, I was wondering because where you are is right next door to Los Angeles.
Come on now.
Okay,
We're near it. Over 1,000 miles from Los Angeles.
Okay, well, I was wondering if you felt anything.
No, I didn't feel anything.
How do you feel about the government giving all these people money when they knew this could happen?
I don't know what you know about them knowing it could happen. It could happen.
Well, how many times have it happened in the past?
Well, look, if you build your house in an earthquake region, I don't know why you should whimper about it.
That's like if you walk into a boxing ring and get punched in the face, and if you do it twice, what do you suspect?
There you go. I can't feel anything for them. I'm naturally sorry for them.
But meanwhile, us Americans are paying all this money for them to get back on their feet, and you don't feel,
Well, to the tune of $30 billion, but I don't think the government has it, and I don't think the government can put it all on the national debt.
Well, basically, the government will have it by raising our taxes, and we didn't do shit.
Yeah, but the taxpayers can only pay so much.
Okay, question number 3. How do you feel about Howard Stern?
Well, from what little, I don't think I would care to listen to him. I think he's vulgar and stupid, but that's only my opinion. I guess he's got a lot more listeners than I do, I'm sorry to say.
It's sort of like the same opinion you have with Rush Limbaugh, though I don't like Rush Limbaugh either.
Yeah.
So I guess we have 2 thumbs facing in the same direction.
There you go.
Okay, well, have a good night.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963, and the address for the information packet is, oops, here's another call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, I'm calling from Indianapolis.
Yes?
And I just wanted to call and let any listeners know, I happen to be of the Mormon faith, and for any of your readers who are wanting to get some food storage together, if they'll just look in the business section of their, in Indianapolis it's the white pages, and then you have your businesses alphabetically in the back. If you look up Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and look for the Bishop's Regional Storehouse, I believe just about every locality should have one. And what you can do, even non-members, is go to the storehouse and you can buy your winter wheat somewhere else and you can pack it at the storehouse. They have dry packing facilities. You know, it's maybe $1.50 a can, and it's a really economical way to save that hard winter wheat, so it, you know, to keep bug and things out of it.
Well, that's really great. Let's see. So it's in most, well, what would you say the size towns are generally?
Well, Indianapolis is about, you know, roughly 1 million people, including the whole...
I know, but forget the yours.
Boy,
how big a town does it have to be for the Mormons to set up a facility like that?
That is a very good question.
Because there isn't one in Harrison.
Oh, you probably want to look. I believe Atlanta has one.
Okay, then any sufficiently large city, say 50,000 or over.
Now in Utah, you're going to find about 30 or 40 of them. But the rest of the country, or rest of the, you know, throughout the United States, there should be at least one per state. But look for the large population centers, and even if you just, you know, look in the yellow pages or the white pages, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and, you know, Mormons are generally very nice people, and any of them will be happy to help you. We're always happy to help non-member friends get their food storage together.
Okay, so you look in your, go to your biggest town, preferably.
Right.
And look up Jesus, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Exactly.
And if they've got a center there, they'll be glad to package your foods for a nominal price, and that's a very good service. Right,
and it's called the Bishop's Storehouse. And usually they'll even let you do it yourself. They'll get, you know, even a non-member in there, you know, make sure that they know how to use the equipment.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's just a really great way to save that wheat economically. And you can even, in a lot of cases at our storehouse, you can buy your grains there. You know, we recently packed macaroni, spaghetti, you know, just long strings of spaghetti, and you just break it up and put it in the can.
Well, that's nice. Well, you see, the Mormons have that where they're selling the, it's not a Mormon organization. It just happens to be in Utah, and they happen to be Mormons. But they're selling the Corona grain mill.
Right. Is that the hand crank grain mill?
Yes.
Boy, that's great that you don't need electricity for that.
Yes. And so it's the Mormons have had this plan, although not all the Mormons save food. I mean, we don't want to give people the wrong idea, because like Scott Moulton said from Provo, Utah, he said he didn't like all that propaganda about the Mormons saving food, because it gives people the idea that all they need to survive is a gun and a Mormon's address.
Right. And most of us have guns, and we'll shoot back. So.
Well, I'm sure glad. I hope you do.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. You know, I'm happy with the church and the fact that they're registered, they're 501c3, and, you know, I also split my worship time between a local church that is an unregistered church.
Well, what do you mean registered?
Well, as you know, if you ask for favors from the government, whether it's tax breaks in your 501c3 corporation, as most churches are nonprofit corporations, then you're going to be stuck with upholding public policy. Whereas if you're an unregistered church that claims full rights underneath the Constitution, then you're not going to be beholden to, you know, government agencies that come in and say, well, you can't preach about this and you can't preach about that. So,
yes. Well, what's the fear there? You think that the government would come and confiscate the food stores?
Well, there are already laws on the books, from what I understand, that it is illegal, or it's illegal, it's not unlawful. Of course, everyone has the right to eat, etc. But there are these little Mickey Mouse laws on the books that say, due to public safety hazards, because, you know, you might not store your food properly and it's going to spoil and create a public health concern, that you can't have more than 3 or 7 days food supply in your home.
Oh, come on now.
There are those laws, and
I think it's, look, I believe you believe it, but it's so ridiculous. My goodness, we got a year's supply of food, and if anyone should come with a paper saying that we should have to give up our food, there'd be several people killed on the place. in a very short time.
Amen.
I don't believe it. Now, like I said, I believe you believe it, but I think you're mistaken because it is utterly ridiculous.
Well, I agree, and these are the kind of laws that our Congress passes, and yes. I like to believe that our Congress people are generally very good people, and a lot of things just slip by. They obviously
yes.
can't read 1,600-page bills.
A lot of them can't read anything. They're pretty poor, I tell you. I wouldn't put anything past them, but they can very seldom get anything done. Any fool can write a bill, but it takes a competent person to enforce it, and they're not able to enforce anything. Mm-hmm. They're really pathetic, and I wish that you could send me a copy of that Mickey Mouse thing. I think it would be a big laugh. I'd publish it in...
Yeah, I'll definitely... Now, I don't know if you subscribe to the APRA News, American Pistol and Rifle Association.
No.
But in one of their more recent newsletters, there was, a small little aside article that said that either January 1st of 1990 or 1991. I'll send you a photocopy of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not interested in the article. I'm interested in a copy of the actual law. Because, you see, these people who put out this nonsense, they will quote all kinds of laws. They'll give numbers to them. And, of course, most people say, well, here it is, and this must be true. But what I do is I track it down to the source. Mm-hmm. So track it down to the source, the government paper that it's in, send me a copy of that, and we'll start believing it.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do, because according to APRA, this law in Oklahoma that got passed, well, you're supposed to itemize on your taxes every single item that you own, down to jewelry and socks and every single item. And if they suspect that you've undervalued everything, then they're going to come to your home and, reassess you, basically.
Well, then you ought to cancel your subscription to that magazine, because whoever put it out is a real jerk.
Well, I don't know.
Well, don't distract yourself with such nonsense. We've got enough things to worry about. Our civilization is collapsing. You can watch that on the nightly news. You don't need to be distracted by such nonsense.
Well, I've sent for my survivors, so I look to survive and maybe even prosper in the coming...
You will be, yes. I'm sure you have a good chance because you're an intelligent person. But as far as that APRA, whatever it is, that's just people with they just have a flock of paranoid sheep to shear, and they just lie like crazy. I've seen it for 30 years. I take it all in. I read it all, and none of the stuff that they've talked about for the last 30 years has come to pass. And they'll just print things, and like I said, they'll print the law number and everything like that, knowing that no one will check it out. But the thing is, I'll check it out with the source before I will believe it.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit like you then, because when they told me I had to vaccinate my children, I went to the Indiana Code, and that's not what it said.
Of course it isn't. You don't have to vaccinate your children. In most cases, you ought to, or you ought to at least go to a reputable doctor and get his advice on it. But there's no law on any book saying that you have to vaccinate your children.
Exactly.
So check it out, because it really means something to you. It's a lot easier to check something out than to believe these phonies.
Well, we really appreciate you, Kurt. I'm going to let you go because I want to give somebody else a chance.
Okay, thank you, dear.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, my phone number is 501-437-2963. And the address for the information packet of U.S. Militia, Shoestring Entrepreneur, and the David Koresh tapes is, I'll tell you that in a minute. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes, LT calling from Texas.
Hi, LT.
Just curious, if I was taking a vacation, just happened to be going through Arkansas, do you have a storefront where somebody could just stop by and browse?
Why, no, but I've got a home you can drop in for a cup of coffee.
Do you have copies of your publications that a person could look at?
Well, of course.
Okay. Is your address you have a P.O. box, don't you, that you advertise?
Yeah. Well, you call me when you get to Alpha.
Okay, so you're in the phone book, or?
Yeah, I'm in the phone book, and you can call me, and you don't call on this phone. This is the radio phone. You call on my regular phone you find in the phone book.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Bye. Anyway, the address for the information packet is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, this is John from Michigan.
Hi, John.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Great to hear you on the radio.
Good.
Moving up ahead.
Good.
I got an address.
For what?
Hydrogen peroxide, that's 35% food grade.
Okay, people, get your pencils ready because he's not going to tell it more than once.
No, I ain't.
Okay, John, give it to us.
Agric, A-G-R-I-C, Health.
Agric Health.
3853 East Kleindale, K-L-E-I-N-D-A-L-E Road.
Now, let's go over that again because I interrupted. 3853 East what?
Kleindale. Kleindale Road, East Kleindale Road.
Go on.
Tucson, Arizona, 85716.
And how much do you send them?
It's a minimum of 2 pints for $14. They got a phone number.
Okay, give me the phone number.
602-326-1399.
602-136-1399.
602-326-1399.
Okay, I think everybody should know.
Okay, here's something else you might want.
Okay.
In case you want to make your own jacketed bullets.
Yeah?
Corbin has 2 bullet presses to make your own bullets.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's for $189 and one's for $250. They also have the supplies.
Yeah?
Okay, Corbin Manufacturing, box 2659, White City, Oregon.
Yes?
97503.
Yes?
So you can make your own bullets, and you can air yourself out with that. I put about 10 drops of that H2O2 in my in some juice and drink that down. It oxygenates you.
Well, I hope it does. Hope it does a good job, John.
Well, I just thought I'd...
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of people took the address down because it's hard to get, although I think you can get it in most health food stores.
Well, they sell it, yeah, but their prices are way too high.
Well, okay, but also, you see, if you buy one bottle and you're using it a few drops in a drink, that's going to last you a long time, probably as long as you need it. Maybe a person wouldn't care to go and buy it wholesale rates.
No, yeah, I put some in my humidifier.
Yeah?
It makes the air fresher.
Also, at your health food store, you can usually get a book describing the values of hydrogen peroxide.
That might not last too long with this stupid FDA rules.
Oh, I don't. The FDA is stumbling all over itself, John. Don't worry about the FDA.
I'm not worried about them. I just think they're a bunch of stumble-bum idiots.
Well, look, if they could have done anything, they would have done it years ago. The health food company has been wailing and moaning about all kinds of restrictions, and so far, the only thing they've taken off is L-tryptophan, which they should have, because I tried that, and after a few doses, it doesn't work anymore, and then it starts making you crazy. So I know from where I speak. See, so as far as I know, having been connected with the health food business quite a while, I don't think that the FDA has done anything against the public interest.
Not yet.
Well, then don't worry about it until it happens, and then when it happens, you jump all over them, because that's not only your right, but it's your duty.
But never underestimate the government's power for stupidity.
Well, never. That's right. Never underestimate their incompetence either.
No kidding. Well, I just thought I'd give you a couple addresses there. We might need to be making our own bullets before long. We never know how stupid that Clinton and his doggerel crowd is.
Well, I think that the government gets just too many billions of dollars in revenues from the gun business to do any more than holler and then worry some people.
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, you've probably seen these anti-smoking campaigns, haven't you, on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're paid for by the government, and yet the government subsidizes the tobacco farmers because they get so much in tobacco taxes.
Oh, you want to hear a good one?
Quick.
You remember Candy Lightner?
No?
She started that MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah?
You know who she's working for now as a lobbyist?
Who?
The American Beverage Association, representing wine and beer makers.
You know you can't trust nobody anymore?
Maybe the NRA could hire Sarah Brady.
Maybe so. I bet they could.
She could push poor Jim around and promote safety and all that.
Well, now that Brady bill has caused the sales of guns to skyrocket, so maybe they've already hired her. How do you know?
Well, it could have. I talked to a company I deal with, and since November, they've added a new warehouse and a bunch of people to answer the phones because they're so far behind on their orders.
Yeah.
Just went right through the roof.
Of course.
This is the best thing that ever happened to the gun business.
Well, okay, so write a letter of thanks to Sarah Brady.
I bet they've gotten a lot of them.
I bet they have.
All right, we'll see you. Take care.
Thank you, John. Bye for
Bye.
now. Okay, my phone number again is 501-437-2963. And if you'd like to buy these tapes, they're $6 a piece or $25 a week for a week's. Give me the address after this call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Kurt.
Yes.
I heard you talking before about like canning and all that stuff. I live in Natick, Kentucky. I don't get out much, or I kind of inside, and I tried canning some peaches and shit.
Yeah.
And
well, I'll go for your can and the peaches, but not the other. Sort of watch your language.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay. Just talk like that. This is a group of women, a group of women here, because there are a lot of women listening.
Oh.
I'm a country boy. Just you're on the air, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, I tried mixing in some brown sugar and water.
Yeah.
And they went rotten.
Well, you obviously didn't cook them first. You see, when you can peaches, you have to heat them to the point where you've killed all the bacteria.
You mean you can't just take them off the tree and...
No. You take them off the tree, and you take off the skins, and you take out the seeds, and then you put them in syrup of some sort, and put them in jars, and put the lids on tight, and then you put them in a canning thing with water in it, and then you boil it until all of the bacteria,
That's like a lot of work, though.
Well, it probably takes more work than it's worth to you. I'd leave that to the women folk.
Women folk?
Yeah.
Did you say women folk?
Yes. It's a common term. See, we consider that women are also folks.
Yeah. Well, see, then why do you have to add folk? Why can't you just say women?
Well, did that bother you? You got a problem with that?
Well, I just don't understand why you have to say women folk. Or
well, I didn't have to. In your case, I'll take it.
People talk down there.
I'll take it back.
Well, no, it's no big deal.
If it's no big deal, let's now just go on with your thought, John. Why do you? Now, if you buy a set of the Survivors, you'll get all kinds of information on canning.
Yeah.
But then you don't even need the Survivor for that. You can get a good book on canning at any library.
So
your health food store, they got books on it.
Okay. Well, no, because you can get the canned stuff, too. And I was thinking about just getting the canned stuff. If I really need to stock up.
Okay, well, in your case, I would recommend that you go to your supermarket and buy a case of peaches. Because they're good.
That'd kind of be easier in a way, if
yes,
you really think about it. I don't know, man,
Oh, also, when the collapse comes, if you have a few extra cases, they're good for barter.
Yeah, fertilizer, too, maybe, if they go, like, rotten or something.
No, because they got too much of a sugar content. It's best to eat them. Well, is that about it?
Excuse me?
Somebody's calling you, aren't they?
I'm listening.
Well, okay, what can I do for you now? Is that about it?
Okay, I gotta go.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
He had a Rush Limbaugh ditto head in the background there. So, anyway, I'll open it up for another call. Oops, sorry. The number is 501. Oops, here it is. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Kurt, this is Ron in Texas.
Yes, Ron.
And I'm hearing you for the second time.
Yes.
I really don't know much about you, but I'm certainly impressed with your common sense.
Well, you ought to order the information packet, then you'll know all about me. You see, if you order it for $10, you'll get a sample copy of U.S. Militia, which is the only magazine on community defense, and a copy of Shoestring Entrepreneur, which teaches you how to sell anything you can make or grow, and then a copy of the David Koresh Last Testament, and then you will also get a $5 refund on any order. And I think you would like it, and it will tell you about my books and tapes. And it might even open a new world to you. A lot of very interesting reading there, and a lot of very good, helpful information that you can use on a day-to-day basis.
Sounds good. Are you in Albina?
Alpena, A-L-P-E-N-A, Arkansas.
L-P. Okay. When I heard you the other day, I wrote down Albina.
Well, it would get here as long as you got the proper zip code. It's 72611.
And the box is 95?
Yes, and it's $10, $5 refundable.
Okay, now may I make a comment?
All right, do that, please.
After the Branch Davidian slaughter,
yes,
I'm very paranoid.
Well, you oughtn't to be. Were you a Branch Davidian?
No, but it showed up the arrogance and the tyranny of the U.S. government.
Well, it showed up more incompetence than anything. Any government can overreact to a stupid thing. I wouldn't worry about that sort of thing if I were you.
You wouldn't?
No, because it did give the ATF such a black eye that I think that people could get away with a whole lot more than they suspected the Branch Davidians of getting away with before they'd act again. Because nobody wants to take responsibility. If you heard about the way they were stepping all over each other to blame each other for I mean, would you want to be an ATF officer arranging for another such raid?
I would not only hang my head, I'd hide my head.
Well, I think that they're all, well, they did as much as they could to blame each other.
Yeah.
And I think they'd be hard put to try something like that again.
But here's the mystery. With all the mistakes that they made, they're still going to try 11 of these people.
Well, they're doing it now, but of course it's a farce, and they'll all go home, and you'll see them on talk shows later on.
I hope they all go home.
Well, I don't see why they shouldn't. If the whole thing is so silly, they're just trying them to, as an excuse, just as an excuse.
Now, it's costing a lot of taxpayers' money.
Well, doesn't everything?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, learn to be self-sufficient so that you don't need to make so much money to pay taxes on, and you can laugh at the whole show.
You got that right.
Okay, buddy.
Good talking to you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. And the address for the audio tapes is Jeffries Audio, P.O. Box 326, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. That's $6 each and $25 postpaid for a whole week's. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, Kurt. Excuse me.
I'll excuse you, but go on.
I'm sorry, I had the radio on. I couldn't turn the darn thing off.
That's all right.
I got a question on this U.S. Militia magazine.
Yeah.
Does that David Koresh thing come? Say if you send the $35,
No. You get the David Koresh thing as a premium with the information packet.
Oh, it's just with the information packet?
Yeah, because David Koresh's mother said it was not to be sold.
No, well, what I'm saying is, say if I sent that $35 for this U.S. Militia
Well, why don't you just send $10 and get the information packet and the Koresh thing? That is, if you want the Koresh thing. See, a lot of people don't care for the Koresh thing, and they'd rather just get the U.S. militia, starting with the first 3 issues and then getting 9 more as they come out.
Well, I kind of think they all got a bum deal out there anyway, to tell you the truth, because I live in Waco myself.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pretty nice place up until that time I heard about that. And my wife and I couldn't believe it. We always wanted to go back to Waco because we thought it was such a nice place. But
you can go back there.
Yeah, but evidently the people didn't support David Koresh. I don't know if you are aware, or a lot of people are aware, supposedly David Koresh, I know they had a nice lake out there, Lake Waco, out there in Waco, Texas, which the church itself has supposedly donated the property and helped build that lake, and they donated it to the city, and pretty good payback, isn't it?
Well, I've never been there.
Yes, it's a pretty nice little kind of like sleepy western town. It's you could one in places where you could walk downtown without getting your head caved in and everything. At least that's the way it impressed my wife and I.
Yeah.
And I got one more question. Is say if I sent for the information packet and or this militia magazine, will it be sent under plain cover?
Well, of course.
Yeah, well, that's my my biggest question.
No, it comes in an envelope, but don't worry about that. I don't know why people. It sort of makes me babble that people would be afraid to order something through the mail.
Well, I'm not really afraid. It's just a lot of times I order things. Even I get American Rifleman magazines. They disappear on me, and Gun World magazine, Guns and Ammo, and.
Well, you see, the thing is, I think it's the postal employees themselves. Sometimes they just put things in their pocket to read during lunchtime, and they forget to put them back.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very aggravating, but now my post office, when someone calls and says they didn't get their copy, and it's been several weeks, and I know that they were all delivered, then I just send another one at no charge, and the post office pays for it.
Okay, I see that. That was my big question there.
Well, no, I guarantee that if you subscribe, you will get every issue. If one doesn't get there, I'll replace it.
Yes, I just picked you up about 2 weeks back, and I think your show is great.
Why, thank you.
So I do appreciate listening to you. And
okay.
Thank you. I will be getting back with you.
Okay, buddy.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye for now. Now, my phone number is 501-437-2963. Now, if you would rather just subscribe to U.S. Militia, it's $35. You get the first 3 right away, and then you get the next 9 as they come out. And, of course, it's guaranteed that no matter what happens to them in transit, I'll make sure that you do get every one. And the address for that is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And the same address applies to Shoestring Entrepreneur. That costs $15, and you get a bunch of back issues of The Survivor, and at no charge. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. This is Ted from Rock Island, and just a single comment.
Okay, Ted.
That young man who was so kind of upset about the word women folk, you could have pointed out that we down there might also say men folk, and we don't mean anything by it.
Well, I don't know where he was coming from. I couldn't relate to his objection.
I think he was just confused by your manner of speech. And, regional speech is great all over the country.
Yeah, well, see, I was raised by hillbillies. Both my parents were born here in Arkansas and raised here. And maybe I don't talk like a Yankee. What am I going to do?
You're going to talk like you do, and you're doing just fine, sir.
Well,
I just wanted to come in with that men folk is just as common as women folk.
Yes, well, he was a little confused.
I
think it was the person in the background that was rattling him.
Oh, Okay, well, that's all I had to say. Keep up the good work, sir.
Well, thank you.
Right, goodbye.
Bye for now. Now, my phone number is 501-437-2963. And the address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas. And U.S. Militia is, just a minute, another call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, I'm calling from Missouri, and I just wanted to offer a suggestion.
Yes?
To your listeners. that I'm right now trying to survive on about 40 acres out here, and I don't have electricity or anything right now, and probably won't. Now, if anybody's planning on doing anything like this, they want to maybe consider getting things that you can carry large containers, like large buckets, plastic buckets, or large pans to heat water on and things like that. It would go a lot further than almost any other tool you could consider getting. Because you're going to find yourself carrying water a lot. You're going to find yourself storing large amounts of things and washing things in large containers, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people think about. I think a lot of them figure they probably first thing they need to get is a lot of ammo and guns and things, and which is necessary, but there's a few mundane things people don't think about that they need to probably consider getting now.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have containers. Just collect all the containers you can get because they will come in handy. Of course, I doubt your practicality in not having electricity. You better get it while you've got it, and set up a windmill.
Definitely.
And just learn how to. You want to get all the amenities possible because you don't want to live like an animal.
I agree. That's on my list of things to do. It's just a slow process.
Well, if you should subscribe to The Survivor and get the back issues, well, that is the Shoestring Entrepreneur. And if you get a set of The Survivors, then I'm sure that you could find so many ways of improving your living standard there and also making a better living. How do you make a living?
I'm in healthcare.
Yes.
I work in a hospital routinely, yes.
Yes, okay, I've worked in hospitals.
I've done it for about 14 years now in healthcare.
Well, okay, you got a pretty decent job then.
Yeah.
But you should make some outlay to get some electricity in there because roughing it too much will just discourage you.
Well, yeah, I agree. I do have your Volume 1 of The Survivor. It's been very helpful.
Yes.
In leading me in that direction. It's just a long, slow process to get things going. That's
yes. Well, try 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye for now. Okay. My phone number is 501-437-2963. The address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas. And if we've got time, let's see if I can't give the address for Harbor Freight Tools. I'll give that after this next call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Kurt, I'd just like to say I enjoy listening to you a lot.
Well, I'm glad.
And you got a very good show, and just keep up the good work, all right?
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye. Anyway, if you'll call 1-800-423-2567, you'll get these people on the line, and they will send you the most fantastic tool catalog, tools and equipment, finest professional quality tools and equipment, and most of them are even cheaper than Walmart. I think they get a great big job lot sales, and like when a bunch of tools come in a damaged carton in the railway, and so they just turn it over to the insurance, and that is the tool manufacturers, and so Harbor Freight buys these cartons of tools where there's nothing wrong with them at all. Maybe the carton's damaged. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. I was calling about that last person you were talking to.
Yeah.
You're naming the female I forgot what you're calling her. Woman.
I didn't call her anything. I referred to women folk.
Women folk, but basically, my type of worm, my type of not worm, because that's what I'm sticking into her. By basically,
now watch it. I'll have to shut you off.
I mean.
We'll wait for another call. I just assume people like that would just go back to listening to Rush Limbaugh. Anyway, the phone number is 501-437-2963. And if you call this tool company, you'll really get a good selection of tools for no matter what you do. And again, my address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And ready for another call here. It's 501-437-2963. And to get the $10 introduction packet, including the U.S. Oops, here's another call. Hello.
Is this Kurt Saxon?
It is.
Yeah, all right. I got a number and an address for somebody who's looking to get the Constitution booklets with the Constitution in it.
Well, okay.
Okay, it's Whitten, WHITTEN, Printers.
Yes.
1001 South 5th Street, Phoenix, Arizona, 85004. They're each, if you're buying up to 20 of them, they're $1 each.
Mm-hmm.
And then prices go down for any more than that, plus postage. And I have a phone number for them, and they'll give you the postage for your particular area.
Okay.
Because it depends, because I think they send them UPS, so that varies. And they're 602-258-6406.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really, I'm sure they'd be glad to send them out to anybody. And they're a great little hand booklet. They about fit in your pocket or in your glove box of your car. They have the Constitution in them, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the whole works.
Mm-hmm.
And we found them quite informative, and order them up for friends and neighbors that like to get them informed.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Uh-huh. All righty.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye for now. Okay, my phone number is 501-437-2963. And again, my address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here. Oh, that was another of Rush Limbaugh's people. The phone number is 501-437-2963. So also, if you're interested in the tapes, they're $6 a piece or $25 for a week's shows. And we'll try again. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes, Mr. Saxon.
Yes.
I'm calling from the Mississippi Delta.
Yes.
I'm a new listener. I'm thoroughly enjoying the program. I sent off in the mail earlier this week the $10 for the package.
Yes.
I would like to ask, your name sounds very familiar. It seems to me that I've seen it in print in a periodical that I subscribe to, Shotgun News.
I used to advertise in the Shotgun News.
Okay. I thought the name was very familiar. I've sent the check, and I'm requesting information on the U.S. militia, and I just wanted to let you know that you're coming in loud and clear here in the Mississippi Delta.
Well, that's very good.
I appreciate the message that you're putting out across America.
Why, thank you.
Okay, I want to let you know I'm enjoying the show, and you're coming in loud and clear on my little Radio Shack radio.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, my phone number is 501-437-2963. The address for the information packet is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Kurt, how you doing?
Doing fine.
I want you to know that people here in Kentucky consider women folk as being a compliment.
Yes, well, that guy that took issue with it, he's just some kind of a nut.
Well, I think I don't live too far from him, and if it gets to be a problem, I listen to your show regularly, and I take offense to people making us look like fools.
Well, I think what happened here is that I heard the person in the background. I think that he's a homosexual, and I have allowed certain of my listeners to make comments that would be offensive to them, and so he obviously heard it and wanted to cause trouble. But just consider the source. I'll try to cut him off as soon as he gets on.
Well, I just wanted him to know that he does have neighbors and he has people that live close.
Well, you might drop by and give him a little physical culture.
Roger. Well, listen, to the lady in Indianapolis who gave you the information at the first of the program, sweet lady, I belong to the same organization. I've been up there many times and participated in different groups processing food, and it is a lot of fun. And the guy in Florida really needs to know that winter wheat will grind, and I forget what they call the other wheat, the white wheat, will mess stones up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He seems like he was a little new there maybe sometime.
Well, no, his problem was that he had gone to a seed and feed store and tried to buy hard red winter wheat, and they didn't sell it there. And of course,
okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, hard red winter wheat is a northern crop, and they wouldn't grow it in Florida.
Oh, it would be kind of difficult.
Yes, I don't suppose they would grow it in Louisiana either. But so if you live in the deep south, then you'd probably have to get it from your health food store or natural food store, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was quoted a price for $19.50 for 50 pounds, and that would make out to 39 cents a pound, which is very good for such a high protein kind of food. And, of course, it's also organically grown. So if you can't get that in the deep south, you're not going to spend a whole lot more for it in your health food store.
No.
So don't despair.
The lady was not sure of how many bishop storehouses are being is in this area.
Yes.
There's not many Mormons in this area.
Yes.
So the storehouses are very scarce, and I live almost in Lexington, which is about 300 miles from Indianapolis, and that's the one we use. But out west, they're very prominent.
Yeah.
Kurt, thanks very much for the program. You're great.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Got a lot of listeners.
Okay, I'm glad.
Thanks, bud.
Okay, bye for now. Okay, the phone number again is 501-437-2963. And we've got 4 minutes to go. Nope, we got 3 minutes, so make it quick. Oh, here's another call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi there. I have a question on canning. I happen to live here in Indianapolis, and on my own I happened to contact the Mormon Church, and they were extremely helpful.
Yes.
Sent me a price list and all that neat stuff. And they also have the opportunity, of course, to use a canner at home.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, does anybody happen to know how to use nitrogen to pack it in? Well, is it heavier than oxygen? Will it displace everything in the can as you seal it?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think I've heard of something called NitroPack.
Yes, that's why I was kind of trying to bypass the commercial version and see if I couldn't do that on my own.
Well, I don't know if you can bypass the commercial I think it's a commercial process, like making certain explosives is an industrial process. For instance, you can't make C4 in your kitchen, although there are books telling you how, which of course they're lying books.
Well, I happen to enjoy your Poor Man James Bond series immensely. Being ex-military, it's a lot of fun.
Well, have you subscribed to U.S. militia?
No, actually, I stumbled upon you today. Usually propagation is not this good.
Well, I think you would, if you like the Poor Man's James Bond, you will be absolutely enthralled with the U.S. militia, because it picks up where the Poor Man's James Bond leaves off, and it holds nothing back, especially with my psychotic hero, Clarence, destroying everyone in sight with the idea that they're Martians, and he's the only mass murderer who doesn't know it. And you'd love him. Everyone loves him.
I've written down the address, and I'm looking forward to that. You being a human in my eyes, rather than what I've been reading of your stuff. As a matter of fact, Granddad's wonderful book of chemistry was a great eye opener for me as well.
Yes.
Now, seeing that you're a real human, I'm looking forward to that series.
Oh, you're going to love it. Everybody does. I haven't had anybody return it or make any bad comments about it. They just think it's so much better than what they expected, because they'd never seen anything like that published before.
That's fantastic. You've done a great deal of research to get a whole lot of different things in one place.
Yes.
And having lived off of Henley's formulas before that, I was truly impressed.
Yes. Well, I think I go beyond Henley's, because his is too far beyond the layperson.
Well, I understand that. It was just a matter of some of the things that our grandfathers had already discovered. Why are we having to do this again?
Yeah, well, if you, I think if you're on that track, you ought to get the Survivor volumes, especially Volume 4.
Well, I look forward to that, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Good day.
Bye-bye. Now it's sign-off time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Kurt Saxon saying goodbye and be good.